So the campaign has officially started now, just some 5 weeks to go. The CDU seems to be, though, in a precarious spot. Tell us about the plight of Armin Laschet and what he's suffering at the moment.
Yes, Anna, and what we're seeing right now here in Germany is the CDU in free fall. You're looking at a party that's lost in the space of weeks 10 percentage points. And when you look at Armin Laschet as an individual candidate, the picture gets even more complicated. Now, in terms of the weekend, we did get the party trying to regain momentum in this campaign to inject new life into the campaign election. And we had Angela Merkel on a big event on Saturday. We also had some of the big heavyweights coming out and saying the CDU is a party that is effective, that has a history in dealing with big problems. They also come up with this line that we're sexy, we're also solid. Of course, that created a big fuss to some that would argue, sexy and solid is not something that you would describe the Christian Democrats in Germany as. But, it was, again, part of that hope to inject momentum in this campaign. But the numbers, of course, are not looking good. The CDU is now polling 22%. It's really neck and neck with the Social Democrats. It has been a whole shift in direction and in dynamics in this election where the CDU at one point was polling very well first and the SPD, the Social Democrats, were really behind in a third position. What we see now is that the German election now, it's pretty much a duel between Armin Laschet and Olaf Scholz, the finance minister. When you look at the Greens, they really have stalled now, and they have not been able to breach that ceiling of going beyond 18%. So it does look like this is going to be a two-man situation, Olaf Scholz versus Armin Laschet.
Yeah, it's certainly a really interesting a tagline for a political campaign, and one that I know, as you say, has prompted some criticism. The two-party coalition, that was a lot of people's base case. So thinking about the role of the CDU, the CSU and the Green Party, that was a lot of people's base case for quite a while. Many people having to reassess that then, the closer we get to the election.
Yes, and Anna, that was the base case, as you say. The idea, especially in markets for a while, was that this was going to be a two-party coalition, that this was a story about the CDU and the Greens coming together. To some, that was a perfect scenario. You have the continuity from the CDU, you have the capital and climate coming together. Now, when you look at polls, and again, these are polls, there's still 5 weeks to go. A lot can change, and a lot has already changed in the dynamics. But what they point to is that this is now a three-way coalition. This is not just down to two parties, but also key is that Germany could turn both ways. You could have a coalition led by the SPD, the Social Democrats. You could have an alternative one also led by the CDU. So you're looking at Germany going both ways, right or left, potentially. So this is now an election that is much more open and much more volatile than we thought it would be just a few weeks ago.